Welcome to the Wealth Pocket. Most people believe the system is broken. They think if they just work harder, stay disciplined, follow the rules, one day they'll become wealthy. But what if the system is working exactly as intended? What if it was never designed to make you rich? What if its real purpose was simply to keep you busy? Busy people don't question anything. Busy people don't notice the rules of the game. And most importantly, busy people never escape the system. The illusion of productivity. From childhood, you were trained to value one thing above all else: being busy. School rewards the student who completes assignments. Jobs reward the worker who fills their schedule. Society praises the person who says, "I'm so busy lately." But busyness is not wealth. In fact, busyness is often the opposite of wealth. Look at the average worker. They wake up early, commute through traffic, work for 8 to 10 hours, come home exhausted, then repeat the cycle, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year, for 40 years. The system calls this success. But if constant activity created wealth, factory workers would be billionaires. The truth is simple: the system doesn't reward effort, it rewards position. The trap of the time economy. Most people sell the only thing they have: their time. They trade hours for money. But time is limited, and anything limited cannot scale into massive wealth. This is why even highly paid professionals struggle to become rich. Doctors, lawyers, engineers, they may earn more per hour, but they are still trapped inside the same equation: time equals income, and when time stops, income stops. Meanwhile, the wealthy operate differently. They do not sell time. They build systems, businesses, assets, investments, things that generate income without constant labor. The difference is subtle but powerful. Workers sell time, owners control systems, and systems make money even while their owners sleep. Why the system encourages obedience? If everyone understood how the system worked, everything would collapse. So instead, society teaches obedience. Follow instructions, memorize information, pass tests, get a job, climb the corporate ladder. But notice something strange: school never teaches how money is created, how taxes really work, how leverage multiplies wealth, how financial systems operate. Instead, it trains you to become a reliable employee, not a powerful owner. This is not an accident. An obedient population keeps the system stable, and stability benefits those already at the top. The psychological control. The most powerful control system is not physical, it is psychological. People are kept busy through 3 invisible forces: fear, status, and distraction. Fear keeps people working jobs they hate. Status convinces them to buy things they cannot afford. And distraction keeps them entertained while their time disappears. Social media, endless entertainment, constant notifications. The modern world has perfected the art of attention capture. And attention is life. Where your attention goes, your time follows. And where your time goes, your future follows. The wealth gap is not an accident. People often assume the wealth gap is unfair. But from the system's perspective, it is necessary. A small number of owners control productive assets. A large number of workers operate those assets. This structure has existed for centuries. Kings and peasants, industrialists and laborers, investors and employees. The names change, but the pattern remains the same. Because systems naturally concentrate power. And those who understand the system early position themselves to benefit from it. How the rich actually escape. The wealthy follow a completely different playbook. They focus on 3 things: ownership, leverage, and time. Ownership means controlling assets. Leverage means using systems, technology, or people to multiply results. Time means allowing those systems to compound. This is why the rich often appear less busy. They are not trading hours for money. They are letting systems work on their behalf. One well-built asset can produce income for decades. But building that asset requires a shift in thinking. From worker to architect, escaping the busyness trap. The system will never tell you this. Because it was not built for your freedom. It was built for efficiency. To keep millions of people productive, predictable, busy. But awareness changes everything. Once you understand the rules, you can stop playing the wrong game. Instead of asking, "How can I work harder?" you begin asking, "How can I build systems? How can I own assets? How can my time work for me?" Because the real goal is not to be the hardest worker in the system. The real goal is to eventually step outside it. And the moment you stop chasing busyness, you finally start building wealth. Final closing line, powerful ending. Most people will stay busy for the rest of their lives. Not because they have to, but because they were never taught there was another way. The system never needed you to be rich. It only needed you to be busy. Nobody wakes up one morning and decides to become a slave to time. It happens slowly. First, you go to school. Then you get a job. Then you start chasing promotions. And before you realize what happened, your entire life becomes a schedule. Wake up, commute, work, come home exhausted, sleep, repeat. For decades, and somewhere deep inside, a quiet thought appears. A dangerous thought. Is this really the point of life? Most people silence that thought immediately, because questioning the system is uncomfortable. But here is the truth most people will never admit. The system isn't broken. The system is perfect. It produces exactly what it was designed to produce. Millions of people who stay busy their entire lives, without ever becoming truly free. The machine needs workers. Every large system has one goal: stability. And stability requires predictability. Society needs millions of people waking up every morning to keep the machine running. Factories, offices, warehouses, corporations, entire industries depend on a simple pattern: people trading time for survival. The system cannot function if everyone becomes financially independent. If too many people escape the cycle, the machine slows down, and powerful systems do not allow that. So instead of teaching people how to escape, the system teaches them how to adapt. Work harder, stay productive, be grateful for the opportunity to participate. But notice something strange: the harder most people work, the less control they have over their time. The lie about hard work. From childhood, you were told a powerful story. A story repeated so often that it feels like truth. If you work hard enough, you will succeed. But reality tells a different story. Look at the people working the longest hours. Construction workers, factory employees, delivery drivers. They are some of the hardest working people in society. Yet most of them never become wealthy. Meanwhile, some of the richest people in the world work fewer hours than everyone else. Because wealth is not created by effort. Wealth is created by control. Control over systems, control over assets, control over capital. The people who control these things do not sell time. They buy time. Time is the invisible prison. The system discovered something powerful. If you control a person's time, you control their life. A full-time job consumes more than 8 hours. There is commuting, preparation, mental exhaustion, recovery. By the end of the day, most people have nothing left. No energy, no creativity, no ambition, just enough strength to repeat the cycle tomorrow. This is not accidental. A tired population is an obedient population. Exhaustion removes curiosity, and curiosity is dangerous, because curious people start asking questions like, who actually benefits from this system? The education trap. Education was supposed to create freedom. Instead, it often creates compliance. Students are trained to follow instructions, memorize information, pass standardized tests, but very few schools teach how wealth actually works, how businesses scale, how money multiplies itself through ownership. The reason is simple: the system doesn't need millions of entrepreneurs. It needs millions of employees. Reliable, predictable, replaceable. So the education system quietly prepares people for the only role most of them will ever play: worker. The distraction economy. Even when people feel something is wrong, they rarely act, because modern life provides endless distraction. Social media, streaming platforms, news cycles, short videos, notifications every few seconds. The average person spends thousands of hours each year consuming information that changes nothing about their future. Attention is the most valuable resource on earth, and the system has mastered the art of stealing it. A distracted mind never builds anything meaningful. It simply consumes, scrolls, waits, and repeats. The silent wealth transfer. While millions of people stay busy, something else happens quietly in the background. Assets continue to grow, businesses expand, investments compound, and ownership concentrates in fewer and fewer hands. This is the silent transfer of wealth, from workers to owners, and it happens slowly enough that most people never notice, until decades pass, and they realize they traded their entire lives for a salary. The dangerous realization: understanding this system can be uncomfortable, because it forces a realization. No one is coming to save you. No institution will teach you how to escape. No employer will hand you financial freedom. The system rewards obedience, not independence. But once you see the pattern, you cannot unsee it, and that awareness is dangerous. Because awareness leads to different questions. Not, how can I work harder? But, how can I build ownership? How can I create leverage? How can my time multiply instead of disappear? And those questions are the beginning of a completely different life. Final line, powerful ending. The system never needed you to be rich. It only needed you to stay busy long enough to keep it running.